Hello, Littles University scholars. It is so great to be back with you again this month. This month we have a very special gift to each other. The first thing that I want to make sure that we do is say a big thank you to the Harford County Education Foundation, who made it possible yet again to give away 200 copies of our book this month. And this month's book is very special to me. This is a story that I have heard told multiple times by Miss Carmen Agrediti herself. Did you happen to see that name on the front cover of the book? Let's take a peek. We have our title, Martina the Beautiful Cockroach. And it says here, a Cuban folktale retold by Carmen Agrediti and illustrated by Michael Austin. Do you know what it means when it says that it is a folk tale? Do you see that word, folk tale? That means that it's a story that's been passed down. And so you don't know who the original storyteller was, but in the Cuban community, this story has been told over and over, and you'll see that it says retold by Carmen Agrediti. So we are getting to hear the story, Miss Diti's version of the story. And with that, I am going to switch you over to a very special message from Miss Carmen Agrediti herself.
So I'm here with this adorable young woman, Jillian, who's doing such good work in the world. And this is a recording saying that she has my permission to read Martina the Beautiful Cockroach to the children. It's yours.
Thank you so much, Miss Diti. We can't wait. This is awesome, little scholars.
Goodbye, darling children.
Miss Diti, a huge thank you that we get to read the story as retold by you, this folktale, this Cuban folktale as retold by you. We get to read it together tonight. So Littles University scholars, I hope you have your copy in front of you. If you didn't get a copy of it, that's okay, because we get to read the whole thing together. So real quick, let's just go through a little storybook journey. Let's look at the actual book itself. Can you tell me, what is this part of the book called? That's right, scholars, this is your cover. And then if we turn it on its side, we have our spine or our bind. And this is the back of the book. That's right. All right, shout it out, little scholars. And then these are our pages. And on these pages, we have illustrations or pictures, and we have the words. So without further ado, let's get started reading one of my favorite folk tales as retold by Miss Carmen Agrediti, Martina the Beautiful Cockroach. Have you ever seen a beautiful cockroach? Well, this is one of those stories, and Miss Diti told me this herself, that we can have a lot of fun with some voices and character work, okay? Do you know what character work is? That's when you have a character in the book and you get to explore things with that character. How would that character talk? How would that character look? How would that character physically embody? How would they move? How would they sit? How would they stand? We get to explore some of those things. And Miss Diti wrote this in just a way to encourage us to do that. She wants us to play with this. So we are going to have some fun today. So we are on our title page, Martina the Beautiful Cockroach. And just looking at that picture, does this look like someplace near us here in Maryland? Or does this look like it might be somewhere else? Maybe Cuba, since we know this is a Cuban folktale. Look at some of the greenery. Do we have a lot of trees that look like that in Maryland? But maybe that's what it looks like in Cuba. Let's see. All right, Martina the Beautiful Cockroach, a Cuban folktale retold by Carmen Agrediti and illustrated by Michael Austin. I think I see a little something in that lamppost. Let's see what we find out. Okay. Martina Josefina Catalina Cucaracha was a beautiful cockroach. She lived in a cozy street lamp in old Havana with her big, lovable family. Now that Martina was 21 days old, she was ready to give her leg in marriage. The Cucaracha household was crawling with excitement. Every senora in the family had something to offer. Tia Cuca gave her una peneta, a seashell comb. Mama gave her una mantilla, a lace shawl. But Abuela, her Cuban grandmother, gave her un consejo increíble, some shocking advice. What do you think this advice is? Take some time to look through these illustrations at home. You'll see here is Martina Josefina Catalina Cucaracha, a beautiful cockroach, getting ready to give her leg in marriage. You want me to do what? Martina was aghast. You are a beautiful cockroach, said Abuela. Finding husbands to choose from will be easy. Picking the right one could be tricky. But, stammered Martina, how will spilling coffee on a suitor's shoes help me find a good husband? Her grandmother smiled. It will make him angry. Then you'll know how he will speak to you when he loses his temper. Trust me, Martina, the coffee test never fails. Martina wasn't so sure. Meanwhile, Papa sent El Perico, the parrot, to spread the word. Soon all Havana, from the busy sidewalks of El Prado to El Moro Castle, was abuzz with the news. Martina, the beautiful cockroach, was ready to choose a husband. As was the custom, Martina would greet her suitors from the balcony under her family's many watchful eyes. Daintily she sat down and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs. She didn't have long to wait. What do you think is going to happen as she sits and waits for suitors? Do you know what suitors are? Those are people who are coming to see if they can offer their leg in marriage to Martina. Don Gallo, the rooster, strutted up first. Martina tried not to stare at his splendid shoes. Keeping one eye on his reflection, Don Gallo greeted her with a sweeping bow. Caramba, you really are a beautiful cockroach. I will look even more fabulous with you on my wing. With that, he leaned forward and crooned. Martina Josefina Catalina Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha. Won't you be my wife? Martina hesitated only for an instant. Coffee, senor? Right on cue, Abuela appeared. With a quick glance at her grandmother, Martina nervously splattered coffee onto the rooster's spotless shoes. Oh my, she said with mock dismay. I'm all feelers today. The rooster was furious. Clumsy cockroach, I will teach you better manners when you are my wife. Martina was stunned. The coffee test had worked. A most humble offer, senor, she said coolly, but I cannot accept. You are much too cocky for me. Is that another name for a rooster? Mm-hmm. Don Cerdo, the pig, hoofed up next. His smell curled the little hairs on Martina's legs. What an unimaginable scent, Martina wheezed. Is it some new pig cologne? Oh no, senorita, it's the sweet aroma of my pigsty. Rotten eggs, turnip peels, stinky cheese. Don Cerdo licked his chops and sang, Martina Josefina Catalina Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha, won't you be my wife? Martina had already left in search of coffee. She wasted no time with the pig. Gronk, gronk, squealed Don Cerdo as he dabbed at the coffee on his shoes. What a tragedy for my poor loafers! He really is quite a ham, thought Martina. Calm yourself, senor. I'll clean them for you. I'll say you will, he snorted. When you are my wife, there'll be no end to cleaning up after me. Martina rolled her eyes in disbelief. A most charming offer, senor, she said dryly, but I must decline. You are much too boorish for me. The coffee test had saved her from yet another unsuitable suitor. The pig was scarcely out of sight when Don Lagarto, the lizard, crept over the railing. His oily fingers brushed the little cockroach's lovely mantilla. "You shouldn't sneak up on a lady like that." "I don't sneak, I creep," he said, circling Martina. For some reason, this fellow really bugged her. "I've had enough of creeps for one day," said Martina. "Adios." "But I need you. Wait." The lizard fell on one scaly knee and warbled. "Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha, won't you be my wife?" Martina sighed. "Let me see if there's any coffee left." This time, she wasn't taking any chances. Martina returned with 2 cups for the lizard. "Psst, psst," he spat. Don Lagarto was livid. He changed colors 3 times before he finally found his true one. "And to think," he hissed, "I was going to marry you." Martina stared at the lizard. You could have heard a breadcrumb drop. "Food for thought, senor," Martina said icily, "but I must refuse. You are much too cold-blooded for me." Because lizards are cold-blooded. When her grandmother returned to collect the day's coffee cups, Martina was still fuming. "I'm going inside, abuela." "So soon?" "See, I'm afraid of whom I might eat next." Abuela drew Martina to the railing and pointed to the garden below. "What about him?" Martina looked down at the tiny brown mouse, and her cockroach heart began to beat faster. Tick-tin, tick-tin. "Oh, abuela, he's adorable. Where has he been?" "Right here, all along." "What do I do?" "Go talk to him and just be yourself." Martina handed abuela her panetta and mantilla, then scurried down to the garden. The mouse was waiting. Tick-tan, tick-tan. "Hola, hello." His voice was like warm honey. "My name is Perez." "Hola," she whispered shyly. "I'm Martina." "The beautiful cockroach," he finished for her. "You think I'm beautiful?" The little mouse turned pink under his fur. "Well, my eyes are rather weak, but I have excellent ears. I know you are strong and good, Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha." Then he squinted sweetly. "Who cares if you are beautiful?" Tick-tin, tick-tin. "Martina, don't forget the coffee." It was abuela. No, thought Martina. No coffee for Perez. "Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha." "Si, abuela." Martina knew better than to argue with her Cuban grandmother. With a heavy heart, she reached for the cup. But Perez got there first. Quick as a mouse, he splashed Café Cubano onto Martina's shoes. Now the coffee was on the other foot. Martina was too delighted to be angry. At last, she'd found her perfect match. But she had to ask, "How did you know about the coffee test?" Perez grinned. "Well, mi amor, my love, I too have a Cuban grandmother." The end. I love this story for so many reasons, and folktales usually tell us a lesson. They have a moral, a lesson of the story, something that we can learn from. And this one has a couple, I think. I can't wait to hear what lessons you learned from this Cuban folktale that Miss Carmen Agrediti agreed to let us read her retelling of the version of the story, which we greatly appreciate. And I had so much fun playing some parts with you today. I hope you have as much fun playing parts at home with the story. I hope you take the time to put a message, put a comment in the messages below to let us know, what story did you learn from this folktale? I know that today I may listen to my elders a little more closely. I may ask their opinion and see what they think and how they think a situation should be handled. All right, Little's University scholars, stay tuned because we will announce our next story very soon. I think we already have one picked out. The foundation has helped us get ready for our next announcement. I think we may even have some special guests who are helping to support funding the next book. So be sure to grab your copy as soon as you see us release that information. Have a wonderful week, Little's University scholars, and we'll see you again soon.